Action.
Hello, I'm Gracie.
And I'm Aubrey.
Welcome back to the Senior Talk podcast. Today we are talking about a very brief history of animation. And the studio we'll be using as our prime example is Disney.
I love Disney.
The monopoly it is.
I love Mickey Mouse.
Okay, so the first animated film produced by Disney was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It is an hour and 23 minutes long and took 3 years to make. This is because it was made with cell animation. Do you know what that is?
Yes, drawing on the clear plastic or whatever, and then individually scanning those.
Yes. And it was a very hard material to get right after the World War. Second one. Yes. So they would try to save money by reusing animation over and over again, many times. And oftentimes making a giant board for a background so they could have multiple locations in one spot. This continued up until the summer of 2000. Disney had managed to switch to computer animation. Still drawing, but just on a computer. And the final movie that was made with this was Princess and the Frog.
My favorite Disney princess.
Yeah, did you hear her series got nerfed?
What?
There was supposed to be a 3-season long animated series just for her life after she got back home, and they just canceled it. That was announced in 2020. Yeah, I'm just as upset as you are. Going back to this. And then the first actual 3D Disney film was Chicken Little back in 2005. People will say it's Toy Story, but Pixar made that before they were bought by Disney. Therefore, it does not count in my mind. And you want to know why they made the shift? You know why. Shrek, when premiered, was a massive hit for all audience, young and old, due to its references to older media and jokes that just flew over the kids' heads.
It told a pretty good story with a nice message too.
It did. But the fact it was able to go towards both audiences made it better. And it set the standard for most animation for a cartoonish but mostly realistic feel. In fact, so realistic, when it first premiered, they had to go back and change how Fiona looked because people were so scared by her. Because of the whole, what's it called when you're scared of something that feels real but not too real?
The uncanny valley thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something looks normal, but something's just off about it.
Slightly off.
Yes.
And I think they had to, for the movie awards, I think they had to introduce the 3D animated one just for Shrek or something, or change the rules because Shrek lost.
I don't know. Anyway, yes, it was a very long process. In fact, many people hated it so much when they were, I forgot what movie it was, but it was another animated movie.
El Dorado? It was one of the last 2D animated ones.
I think that may have been it. If they failed to hit a certain date or finish a task they needed to do, they would be sent to work on Shrek, and it was called getting Shreked. It's the funniest thing ever. And since due to its what am I trying to think of?
Pretty big success.
Pretty big success, yes. Many other animated studios tried to copy it with that semi-realistic style, but with a cartoonish feel to it. And you get all of the Disney movies as of recently to Wish, which is not that good.
They tried to bring back, they were going to bring back completely 2D animated, but they went with the hybrid that wasn't pulled off the best.
No, it wasn't. They tried to copy the feel of their books, the kids' books they have that they release after the movie. Clearly that didn't work. And the whole original story was this Starboy prince and the main girl, who I obviously don't know the name of.
Asha, I think.
What?
Asha, I think.
Asha. Like, supposed to be like, I forgot what it was, but they're supposed to fall in love and take down the king and the queen. It's supposed to be an evil duo couple. I love that idea. Didn't do it. And that makes me upset. And his reasoning just does not feel right. And his
In
songs.
And the songs aren't the best.
It's clear they try to copy Manuel Miranda's work, but they can't like do quick witty rhymes like him.
Yeah.
Like the Rent line is awful. It was awful. So animation stayed this way for a very long time until Into the Spider-Verse premiered. It showed a new form of animation. Instead of being animated on ones, which means a new frame, new pose every frame, it animated on twos, which means a new pose every 2 frames.
And sometimes 3s for some reason, for some characters.
And then 4 for Hobie, because he doesn't follow the
Yeah.
rules. Just funny. Actually, it was Miles that was on 3s, because it was to show...
Yeah, he was on 3s until he started getting better,
More
like
confident.
the other Peter Parker. Yeah, more confident.
Yes. And other things they did was that they tried to make it feel like more of a comic book style. Shading was done with little circles, cross...
Band-Aid dots, I think that's what they're called.
I think so. I didn't look that much into it. Cross-hatching, like how movement is done, like the limbs break away for a second. Because, like, that's how it's drawn in comic books. And it broke animation again. So much so, many other movies tried to copy this more cartoonish feel with the comic book feel to it as well. God, I cannot speak.
And that's sort of what Wish tried and failed to do.
It has had some success. There was Mitchell's versus the Machine.
I love that one.
And I do too, it's funny. And the current Team and Team movie. That one went really hard with it. Like, genuinely, how they drew some of the background characters is so ugly because, like, it's a background character. You don't care how they look. But sadly, not every studio has taken this clear love for the more 2D-ish feel or 2D art in general because they have switched to live action. Soulless. Just soulless. Like, compare...
Like the Badlands movie? The live-action Badlands movie? Like that one?
It's worse.
Mufasa.
I think
Don't mess with my brother.
maybe, you know, maybe I like the Mufasa movie because of the songs, but that might just be me.
Again, well, it's Manuel Miranda that wrote those, so...
Is this hypothetical?
So you're gonna
or is
like
this
it.
You saying you do?
I like the Mufasa movie.
Okay.
Okay.
I also like the live-action Lion King. That's
Okay,
I just like Lion King.
That's fair.
Speak with
But
your
I'm going
chest.
to go into something else with that. I was going to use that as an example, so thank you for bringing that up. Compare, like, the designs for Mufasa and Scar in the 2D animation to the live-action animation. They took away Mufasa's soft features, making him feel warm and approachable with his colors, and took away Scar's his dark mane and his claws out all the time. And now he just looks like a lion.
They just look like lions.
They just look like lions. In fact, the song, the Brothers song, when people were like looking at that and they saw the clip on like TikTok or the internet or whatever, and then they went to go see it, everyone thought it was like Mufasa singing it.
No, it's Scar singing it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's Scar singing it. But everyone thought it was Mufasa, but it wasn't.
Oh, I might be like the only person who didn't think it was Mufasa. Because
That's not good. That's not a good design then. You should be able to tell who it is based on just looking at it. But they didn't. In fact, there's so many ways they could have done this. They could have given Scar like more noticeable pronounced scarring, or I don't know, mange, because he is a sick lion half the time.
yeah, but that's after they meet and go through whatever they go through that he's like that.
I know, but like still, compared to the original 2D animation, looking at them, you can tell who is who. You can tell who's the good guy and who's the bad guy.
Evil.
Just based on how they look.
But in Mufasa, like in that movie, for most of the movie, neither of them is the good or bad guy. They're both just lion cubs running around.
Yeah, but can you tell who's who?
Yeah, because one of them has an accent. I'm pretty sure Mufasa doesn't have the same accent as Scar.
That can't be the only reason. There could have been several other ways they could have done. There's several other types of lions they could have used besides the exact same one for both of them.
Lions.
Yeah, so
And it kind of also shows in like many of the other live actions, people are very disappointed because like you had this gray like clothing and all this magical stuff in the original like 2D animation. It just doesn't always translate well to the 3D screen. Like,
I've only seen like 2 of Disney's live action attempts really pay off, and one of them is a more original story. First one, Jungle Book. People said like that one was pretty well adapted, but my favorite Disney live action one is the Christopher Robin movie. I think it was pretty good. It chose to be an original story instead of some adaptation or remake, and I think the story was pretty good.
That's good. Nice to know you like it. The first one I saw was Maleficent.
Oh yeah, that one too.
I liked how it feels like they did genuinely try to keep aspects of the original and translate it to the live action. Like, Angelina Jolie, yeah, that's her. She had like very strong features, but Maleficent in the cartoon is drawn with very sharp ones. So they added the prosthetics to her face to make her feel sharper. And among several other things, I like how they did the horns, I like how they did the wings and all that. I did not like what they did to Aurora. Like, her dress is very lackluster. And literally, the fairy world that they're in, it's just our world, just the saturation turned to high hell.
Nah. Could have done something with the set.
Yeah, and plus, the way they did, like, the 3 fairies that take care of Aurora, it's like you tried to... You remember the cartoon project we did? Yeah, they look like that. And I hate that. So, it's just... 2D animation is a very just wonderful tool that gets pushed aside so often that can easily tell great stories with great visuals. But everyone's like, oh, cheaper costs, we can just retell the same story over and over again.
Yeah.
You can only tell it so many times before people get bored of it.
Like there was that year we got 3 or so different versions of Pinocchio. There was the weird one that was dubbed over with Tom Kenny, Disney's live action version, which was soulless.
I didn't even hear that one came out. I didn't even hear about it till I just started seeing the negative reviews for it.
Oh yeah. And then one that I was probably the best one that year was Guillermo del Toro's one. And he always does pretty stylized stuff for his movies.
That's the thing, they seem to take away like the super stylized version that makes the original all nice and loving and like just draws you in, and like just strips it of that. Like, Aladdin Jasmine's not a best example, but I'll explain. Obviously, one of the big things that changed was who was going to play the genie. Obviously, Robin Williams. Everyone loved him. Everyone's going to think of him every time they hear the genie. No offense to Will Smith, but... What?
Prison.
Like, no offense to Will Smith. He's okay actor. I haven't seen him a lot and stuff. But
I think Will Smith was amazing in Aladdin.
I thought his take on Arabian Nights was amazing too. But he
I like
can't...
the music.
It is good. He can't riff like Robin. So again, it's just one of those like key elements just taken away for obvious reasons. But still, just and most of the other things. It's hard to get into. Well, I'm
Stop.
done.
Stop hiring regular actors to do a voice actor's job.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
doesn't
god, yes.
that doesn't work very well.
No, it doesn't. Which Chris is it? Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
I think Chris Pratt was awesome as Mario. I know exactly where you're going with this.
Go on, Aubrey, go on.
It's just like he does not really sound like a Mario would sound.
That, you know how that sounds? Sound racist. That's how you sound.
What's racist is having a white dude play an Italian man? Anything else you want to add?
I think that's pretty much it.
Any last notes, fellas?
No, I'm just a camera guy.
Okay, then I think we are done. 2D animation should be appreciated more.
Bye bye.
Bye.